Hello and welcome to the FieldMouse YouTube channel. This is our first ever video. My name is Sarah Morris. I'm the co-founder and director of FieldMouse Research. FieldMouse champions the fair representation of rural, regional and rarely heard voices in all market and social research. We find participants all over the UK, from the Highlands and Islands of Scotland to the Cornish coast. And to show that we really do walk the walk, over the next few days I'll be driving from the FieldMouse heartland of Mid Wales, where I live and where we started FieldMouse 7 years ago, all the way to Unst in Shetland, the most northerly inhabited island of the UK. So I'm at the Shetland Reel Distillery with Mark Turnbull, who I feel like I've known for quite a few years now. We've spoken on the phone a few times, and Mark's helped out with a couple of projects, mostly about rural connectivity and rural critical services. And it's been a pleasure to finally meet him in person. I really wanted to ask Mark about his gin collection, royal gin collection. You obviously make the gin, but talk us through your gin, Mark.
This is our original gin. Originally, it was just called Shetland Reel gin because we only had one. That was back in 2014. But once we made a second gin, we called it originally. This one's got a local botanical apple mint in it. It's very fresh and clean, and it's a really good seller for us. The second gin we produced is the Ocean Scent. It has local bladderwrack seaweed in it. Slightly stronger than the original. It's at 49%, but very smooth for being 49%, which is quite high for a gin. The average would be 37.5%. Makes a good martini, this as well. Third gin we produced, Simmer. Take on Simmer Dim, the longest day. Predominantly orange flavour, very citrusy. 49% as well, so quite strong but smooth as well. Next gin, Countdown. That was made for the Space Centre. That was only going to be 200 bottles, but when we made it, it was so popular that the directors wanted us to keep it. So this is the same essence as original, but there's double the amount of essence in this, so there's more going on. Next one, everybody will know Anne Cleves, writes the Shetland series. This gin was made in a collaboration with Anne Cleves, and if you just look in the top of the cabinet, here, and the bottle, Anne Cleves is on that label, which got a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a collaboration with her. It's white fire spice gin. It's got chili flakes, mustard seeds, peppercorns, but it isn't hot on the palate, and that's my favourite of all our gins. The next gin is a big grapefruit gin called Filska. It was made for the Craft Gin Club. It's very popular, especially with the women. It's at 40%. Probably slightly sweeter, although it's slightly sweeter than the Simmer. Next gin we've got is the Space Pouch, the Mission Pouch, and it was done for the Space Centre. Similar to the Ocean Scent seaweed, the bladderwrack seaweed. But this one's got bladderwrack seaweed and sugar kelp, so it's slightly sweeter. Out of the two, I would prefer this one. Isn't made in a bottle, it's just in a pouch. Though we have got a bottle here, but that's just to make it easier when I'm pouring samples for the gin tastings. And the last gin we've got available at the moment is this year's Uphelliar. And that one, it changes every year. If you have a wee look around here, those are all the previous years, all the different Uphelliar bottles.
Oh, yeah.
And there've been whiskey, Ocean Scent in a whiskey cask, lemon in a port cask, they've been in a rum cask, they've been in all sorts. This year's one is a Simmer Gin Essence in an amaretto cask, like similar to this Arano amaretto cask. And it's very nice as well. But we'll make a limited edition of them, about 1,000, and once they're done, they're done.
Amazing.
Yeah, and leaves.
Even though I've tried Ocean Scent, I think that's my favourite still. Didn't you tell me that you collect the bladderwrack yourself from the shoreline events?
There's a picture there. It's an older picture. It's an older picture of me now.
Oh, lovely. So I already loved it, and then when you told me that, I thought, now I feel like I'm drinking essence of Unst, and having been born here, that I had a real emotional connection with the gin.
That's a bestseller.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And my friend Gemma was here last year, Gemma Michael, and she brought me back a bottle of Wildfire.
That's my favourite.
Yeah, I did like that a lot as well. I still think I'd go back to Ocean Scent because of your bladderwrack.
You should try the pouch, because if you like Ocean Scent, the pouch is similar, slightly sweeter, with a sugar kelp instead, and the bladderwrack instead of just bladderwrack. It's 40% instead of 49%.
Brilliant. And Mark, just a few words on how do you find living? Because you're not from Unst originally, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm from the Scottish borders originally.
Ah. So, and how long ago did you move here?
I moved here in May 2013.
So 15 years-ish?
Ish. 12 years, something like that. Yeah.
And what do you think is the best thing about living in such a remote location?
I think it's, for my children, school's brilliant for the children. The scenery's brilliant. It can be a bit like long days in the winter when it's dark and cold and things like that. But you don't have to lock your house, you don't have to lock your car. There's no crime in Unst really. So it's safe. It's safe for the kids. You wouldn't have to worry about your kids if they were out playing and things like that. So, and just probably the speed of life. I mean, the speed of life, everything's done like a sort of slower pace. Yeah.
You don't miss the convenience of having daily deliveries and
that could be a problem, the length of time it takes for things to get here. But I was in Inverness about last week, and when I was walking through it, it was nice for a change. I wouldn't want to live there now. And before I'd known this, I wouldn't have known any difference. But no, I do like staying up here, even though it's inconvenient. Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, thanks so much. It's been great to meet you at last. And I'm going to find some gin now. It's certainly just top level on my Ocean Scent. Thank you.
They're distilled. It's called Elsie. But when we first got still in 2014, it didn't have a name, but we had a woman on a gin tasting, and she says to us, "What's your still called?" I said, "It's not got a name." She said, "Oh, it's like a ship. It's usually called after a woman." Straight after that, I went down Norwich Beach, got a stone with the runes and wrote Elsie on it. So it's now called Elsie, and it's been called Elsie for about 6 or 7 years now. So that's the name of the still. And that's where all the Shetland Reel gin essence is made.
Just in here in this.
And that, yeah.
Wow.
For an example, if you did one distillation, it holds 100 litres. Once you put your botanicals in, your grain, your spirit, top up the water to 100 litres. Once you've done your distillation, you'll end up with about 60 litres of essence, which is, it's really concentrated with flavours and things. And that's the essence is what you use to make the gin. And you'll put the essence in a bottling tank. You'll also add 9 times neutral spirit again. Then you'll dilute it down until it's the strength of the gin you require. So about 2,070 scale bottles you'll get out of one distillation, even though it's only 100 litres, because you're adding when you're doing the bottling process as well.
Yeah,
because it's concentrate. It's like diluting juice. You're adding the water and get it.
That makes sense. I'd say it's just a lot smaller than like a microbrewery would be.
Yeah.
That's because your
beer takes a lot more room because you're not diluting it afterwards to get a bigger. You mean you're getting what you're getting out?
Yeah. I never knew that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.